welcome back to the Starfall. Okay, Matt's like, no, kill it with fire, burn it with fire.
I'm also ready.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Starfall Collective, Season 1, Episode 5. We are a few friends playing some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, streaming it on Twitch, uploading it to YouTube. We hope that you guys will join us. Want to give a special shout-out to my good buddy, Michael Moeller, the true #1 fan. This one's for you, Michael. Everybody, if you want to introduce yourselves in whatever order we randomly pick tonight, because it's never the same twice. Let's start with Sir Robert up in, to me, the top right corner. But Sir Robert, since you were missing last week, why don't you introduce yourself and say hey?
I am Sir Robert. I am back from my jaunt being missing. And hi.
And
that's
hi.
all.
Bottom right corner.
I'm in the bottom right on my screen.
Mr. Q?
Wait, are we going to say what our favorite moment from... Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry.
That comes after. Matt?
I don't... What? Who's this Q? My
Also,
name is...
Robert wasn't here last week, so...
Yeah, that's why I was embarrassed. It was a social faux pas. Master of social faux pas, Matthew Talamini, is a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island. You can find some of my writings on MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, TALAMINI.com.
Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave.
Dwiggett. Dwight.
Hi, I'm Dwight.
I knew that he wouldn't answer to that. I was letting every second that went by was a bluff between me and Dwight.
It was like a game of chicken that Josh will always lose.
Dwight wins that 100% of the time. Dwight.
I'm Dwight. Don't look for me. You won't like what you find.
No, what?
Every time I find Dwight in a new way, I find it to be a good way in which I have found Dwight.
Once when we were in Christian Fellowship, Dwight played chicken with me. Do you remember this, Dwight? You stuck your finger in my nose because I said you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. And then you stuck your finger in my nose. Do you remember that?
I picked my friend's nose.
You did. And I left it there until you were done.
Folks, we have some really weird oppositional defined issues that we're still working through here in our 30s, and we appreciate you being along for the ride.
I'm in my 40s. I am.
And my point is made for me.
It's just a fantastic rejoinder.
So, Matt, last week, was there anything that happened that you found to be particularly delightful or surprising?
I really enjoyed stabbing a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the eyes and just leaving my daggers in there.
Yeah,
I was very specific. I left them in.
Yeah, your ice climbing picks, your dino climbing picks. Dave Farrell, this was your backstory, man. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of Dino Riders?
I approve of riding dinos.
Good.
That's pretty
You should
sweet.
all ride dinos.
I also didn't die again.
In spite of your best efforts to put yourself in harm's way, you did not, in fact, die.
Yeah, me too.
Guys, best efforts.
I was like,
so hard.
hey, man, what gives? This is D&D. You didn't kill me. Come on.
Well,
Does anybody want to give Sir Robert a 60-second recap of what happened? Seeing as how Sir Robert was not there. Dwight?
It was like a lonesome dove, except instead of cattle and horses, it was dinosaurs and dinosaurs.
Yep.
I saw that. That's the director's cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody, we did a reshoot of the whole night, but everybody was wearing cowboy hats. You're still lizard folk, but lizard folk with cowboy hats.
Cowboy hats.
That's
rather than
canonical
cowboy
now.
rats.
All lizard folk wear cowboy hats. No, it's
Well-
canonical if Dave likes it.
they're like gauchos.
Gauchos.
Well, I appreciate y'all being willing to go on without me. I had to my mother's. I didn't. I didn't have to. I did. To my mother's delight, took her to the Trump Charlotte rally.
Oh, wonderful.
So
I'm sure that was an enrich. I went to the Bernie rally when he came to Augusta.
yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty intense. My wife and daughter got onto the stage.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, and Cornell West hugged me and called me his brother and told me to keep fighting the good fight. And that was literally a check object off of my bucket list. I've been wanting to meet Cornell West for forever. So
Cool. I don't know who that is, but okay.
Matt's in physical pain because we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons right now.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem.
All right. So when last we played, you guys managed to insert yourselves pretty solidly into the welfare of a group of lizard folk that had found refuge north of the city wall of Fujidome. They had established a camp. And Dave, do you remember the name of the leader of the camp?
The name of the leader is
A name that I wrote down, which is a very interesting name that has...
Perquar Aeseda Tuer Roate Paraok.
And what did we call him for short?
Aeseda.
Eseda, that's right. At first it was Eseda, but by the end of the night it was Eseda. What's that, Dwight?
Essay.
Humans don't know how to pronounce these things correctly.
No, they do not. No, our brains are small and weak, as are our tongues.
Yep.
Eseda...
Half our brain not weak.
Eseda managed to give you guys a pretty substantial gift in the form of not only a night's rest and a full belly and restored hit points, but a level for a couple of you guys. Who leveled up?
Last time?
Yeah. Well, the time before last.
Last time before last. Which restored hit points I promptly wasted utterly trying to fight Mela, Dwight's character.
Hi.
Yeah, and that went really, really well
It
for
went about
everybody.
as well as you would expect Bard versus Monk, like 4 levels higher.
It was extremely entertaining.
I loved it.
I promise next time I will stun you instead of punching you 4 times because I didn't know I could do that.
It was better this way. Far
Much
better.
Much better.
So much better. Sorry.
And Mela, you had a bit of a run-in with someone from your past.
Yeah, some sort of mech encrusted lady,
Half-elf.
half elf. Oh,
Sorry,
Yeah,
she was only
Senka.
half.
You said a mech encrusted?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Something
her
like that.
armor seemed to be articulated and empowered.
I remember
It
that
wasn't
now.
just simple armor, right? Ultimately, though, Tashash, you were keenly aware of the presence of some things that were profoundly disturbing to you. Do you remember what you sensed when you projected your consciousness and your sensory abilities out using primeval awareness to 6 miles? Because one of your favorite terrains is swamp/wetland.
There were some weird things out there.
Seriously weird things out there.
Yeah, I think I got like. I'm
There are
trying.
3 things on the list.
I think he mentioned Faye that Harcourt heard.
Yeah, Fae and zombies and
Undead.
and at abominations.
You don't remember, then your character doesn't remember. Yes,
Something?
abominations.
Just everything.
Everything.
Oh, I know where I wrote it down in the show notes.
All right. So by the end of the episode, you guys were all putting shoulders to straps and dragging what where?
Sledges or carts that were full of the lizard people's belongings, and Thark carries 2 full carts.
One of which had a Harcourt.
Yep. Which
Little Harcourt rides on top. It's funny.
it weighed it down by a substantial whopping 20-something pounds, maybe 30-something. I don't know. Fully laden, you probably weigh 40, right? You got a lot of stuff in your pockets.
You know,
Yeah. You've got a book bag as big as you, right?
places you want people to be.
So we pick back up with you guys pulling these carts around the city wall. Everybody make me some athletics checks who is pulling on carts to figure out just exactly how well this goes for you and how fatigued you feel as it goes.
Uh,
I got a 6.
13.
A 6.
Off to
Nice.
a great start.
Nice. So you
9.
feel a 9. Ooh, man. And what was that for you, Thack?
13.
13. So, Thack, you're good. You can keep doing this all day. Everybody else, you guys feel dangerously close to taking your first level of exhaustion. So, you can either choose to stop and, eat some orange slices, drink some Tang, ask your mom if she can turn on the AC in the van, and you guys can take a break from JV soccer practice, or you can keep pushing.
How long have we been dragging?
Oh, a couple hours.
Have we got to the point where Harcourt's going to get off yet?
Yeah. How many hours?
So you guys are currently at the northeast corner of the city, and you decided you wanted to go the long way around to stay out of the city because there's a lot of unrest, because in the southeast portion of the city, somewhere inside the forest, the southeast forest, somebody did something pretty heinous, pretty serious. What was it?
Burned one of the trees.
Not burned.
Or cut down.
Harcourt, do you remember what happened last night in the wee hours of the morning?
The giant thud?
Yes, you heard a loud sound, and I guess maybe I think I just gave that to you instead of making you put all that together. But Harcourt's a pretty smart guy. One of the things that you guys would have very quickly noticed, you've been traveling for a couple of hours. Surely at some point you stopped a guard and Harcourt probably asked a couple of questions, and you put 2 and 2 together. And you realized that loud sound was the sound of that tree being felled. So you guys are now about maybe an eighth of the way around the city. It's going to take you pretty much a full day of sledging at this rate because you guys are already starting to tucker out a little bit. So you can either you can do something about that to try to speed it up, or you can kind of
power through.
Head down, power through. Everybody, as you keep pulling, make me another set of athletics checks.
Also, whenever it's opportune, Harcourt was going to go into the city and get some of Thack's equipment from the inn.
Sure. It's up to you. You can either go ahead and hop off now and go on foot through a good bit of the city, or you can wait till you guys get close to the southwest side, and then it'll be just a couple of city blocks up and inside.
I thought it might be like far enough that I should meet them at another entrance, but if it's just a few blocks, that's fine.
Sure. All right, so you're going to hang with them for most of the day and then just kind of pop in at the end. Okay, sure. So you guys all start to, everybody make me athletics checks. What were those checks?
14.
14, okay.
Hey, that's
Ouch.
better.
Oh, my.
Abnormal 20.
This is going to be a 2 plus 7. Gives me a 9.
Wow, man, you're starting to feel a little winded. But that's fair. You guys everybody is kind of covering for each other here. Most people are covering for other people here.
Thank you.
The 3 of you are doing a great job of bearing one another's burdens. Harcourt, you tuckered out little guy. You had a big night.
He hasn't slept all night.
That's true.
Mela, he slept all night.
Yep. I mean, no, Dad. No.
No mischief at all.
Yeah, right.
I got to tell you this quick story. My Uncle Chris snuck out in the middle of the night, stole his dad's Camaro, and the police show up at 2 a.m. at my mom and at my grandparents' house, and they're like, "Mrs. Sewich, we have your son down at the station. You need to come get." Oh, you can't have my son. My son's in his bed. You might want to check. So she goes and checks. No, Christopher in the bed. No, and no Camaro in the garage. No, it was pretty awesome. Anyway, so
on unleaded.
Yeah. So you guys
don't do that.
manage to get a third of the way around the city, and you're getting kind of tuckered out, but you're managing to keep good time. You haven't actually flagged in your pace yet. Make me one more set of athletics checks, and let's see how hard we can push through here at the end, or to get halfway.
Halfway.
Yeah.
I got a 1.
Woohoo!
16, brother.
All right.
That means you die.
So to Shosh, what was
7.
Mela?
I broke
7?
my leg again.
17.
17. 2 successes and a critical failure. You guys actually are beginning to pick up the pace. Mela and Thack are just totally pumped up and energized. They're, this menial task is standing between us and greatness. Thack, you're in your stride. You're in your element. You're used to pulling stuff cross country. And as you're going to Shosh, one of your frills begins to dig at this leather that is designed to be part of a harness for a dinosaur that does not have sharp, spiky frills. And you hear a make me a reflex check to try to keep yourself from face planting and breaking your face as you go lunging forward. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is, I got a 23.
23. You tuck into a somersault and leap up on your feet. But, guys, you are seriously hamstrung here. You have a fully torn piece of leather that is pretty large, pretty thick, and is an integral mechanical piece of this puzzle. And you're looking around and you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, because right now the sled that Tashash is pulling has a lot of very, very important supplies and materials for the clan.
So I gently put down my my load. Like I let the cart settle back down. I put on whatever brakes there may be, if there are brakes, or shove a rock under the wheels or whatever you do.
Sure.
And I go over and I examine the harnesses.
Okay. Yeah, you examine them and you see that it's a pretty clean tear. And at this point, it would take a serious bit of leather crafting to either come up with a stitching or adhesive solution on the spot that would be able to hold this stuff together. Because you know that if you tie this stuff, you look at the grain. Well, make me do you have any kind of skill that would be appropriate to the situation?
Yeah, I have a leatherworking skill, actually.
Then make me a
Certainly
crafting check. What's that?
There's no such thing. What skill do you want me to test?
Well, you said that you have leatherworking, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
you should have a skill that allows you to use that, and that skill would be
Survival.
It's what I'm.
Dex?
This is.
You know what? I'm just going to say use your dexterity bonus and add your proficiency bonus to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you could do your intelligence. I'll let you do your dexterity or intelligence plus your proficiency.
Okay.
Yep.
Did it freeze? Oh, y'all are still.
Nope.
So roll me a d20, add your proficiency and your appropriate ability score bonus.
12.
12. Okay. You see that this is going to require, basically, you're going to need to get something hot. And
well, I
Go ahead.
can't I can't do any actual leatherworking without my leatherworking tools.
okay, the clan does have a leatherworking set, and so they produce Aseda clicks over to one of the other lizard folk, and they bring you over the materials that you need, because Aseda sees that you are intelligently studying and have come to some sort of plan about how to get this fixed.
I could if I had my pack, I could take care of this pretty easily. It's the kind of thing I used to fix with Mom all the time. But I see what you've got there.
So most of the needles are made of bone instead of metal, but they're very sharp, and they actually seem to have a little bit of flex where your steel needles do not. That looks like they've got a good adhesive here and a good set of punches and stitching leather that's the right kind of cord thickness. So you think that if you took maybe a quick 15 minutes, you could actually slap together a very, very respectable, structurally sound solution. Make me a crafting check to put this together quickly and well, and do it with advantage because you've got the help of another lizard folk who's kind of acting as your assistant, handing you things, heating up the water, boiling up the nacre glue kind of stuff, and giving you assistance.
There's no such thing as the check you asked me to do. There's nowhere on my sheet I can look to find that, so we should find out.
No, just roll a d20, add your dexterity and your proficiency bonus.
Okay. But like I look on my sheet and there's no such thing as crafting.
That's fine. D20, dexterity, proficiency.
You wanted me to make it with advantage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 21.
Okay. You managed to stitch this together, and you guys come over and glance over your shoulder. This looks really, really nice. Like this could be stitching on a wealthy mercenary's personal embossed, gilded, boiled armor or something. Like this is really nice stitch work. You guys are all duly impressed at what Thack has whipped out within the space of a half an hour. You guys are able to get back on it, and you keep pushing, and it comes around to roughly lunchtime. Do you guys want to stop for an actual meal, or do you guys want to all just scarf down jerky and keep pushing?
Zach wants to stop for a meal.
Okay, so you guys stop fairly close to the west gate. There's a main where the aqueduct runs east to west through the city and terminates at the plaza. From the plaza, there's a road that runs west out of the city and out the main gates. Do you guys want to stop before you cross that main area, or do you want to stop below it?
Zach doesn't care.
Okay. Mela? All right. You guys are traveling along, and you come to... Yeah, you're traveling along, and you come to the city gate. It is up ahead of you to the south. It is up to you whether you want to stop or whether you want to push through it and then stop on the other side.
I'd like to stop on the other side.
Okay. So as you guys push forward, you get called to a halt by one of the city guards who is manning the the gate, the traffic coming in and out. And he stops. He's like, "What do you think you're doing? No, you've got to go out and around. Yeah, get out of here." And he's trying to basically tell you to...
I thought we were going around.
Well, you guys are trying to cut across 2 lanes of traffic that seem to be fairly thick. And he's upset with you for trying to cut through traffic.
Yeah, let's cut up. Dodge the traffic.
So if you guys want, you can head west and start heading out of the city, away from the city, down parallel to the line of traffic, and work your way around.
Sure.
Okay.
Can I just say, like, pardon me, excuse me, pardon, excuse. Yeah.
You want to try to push through them?
Yeah.
All right. So Mela, you start pushing, and you like
not pushing nicely.
Nicely. Tashash, your polite, respectful, responsible instincts lead you to start looking over to the west, like, yeah, let's just go around. Mela just starts pulling the sledge forward. Everybody, make me a perception check.
Can I? Okay.
I wanted to do that earlier.
Whatever Mela's trying to do, I want to help out.
Sure.
And wait a second. Never mind. I stand with my arms crossed as I watch to see what Mela will do.
22.
Okay. 18.
Steve with the power of 22.
Thack is looking at his feet.
Okay.
My feet?
3.
Harcourt, are you napping?
Harcourt's kind of lightly napping, but he is always aware when police are talking.
Because
I
the
also
police
rolled
are
a
your
22.
friends in these kinds of situations. That's what your wife says, at least. And
That's
say,
right.
Harry, you just need to remember that.
Harry, she says. She calls me Harry. Harry, listen. Yeah, no, I also rolled a 22.
All right. You guys all recognize up ahead there is a team of horses that are pulling a manure cart, and those horses seem to be very, very antsy. And they look like two of them are kind of barely holding it together and really are trying to pull forward and pick a fight with some horses that are on the other side of this lane that you've just cut. So you've got two very aggressive horses that are coming up on your right.
And
that are about to freak out if you guys cut right in front of them under their noses.
I'm in
I've
favor
stopped.
of-
I've stopped a while back, and I'm waiting to see what happens.
I'm still.
I would like to
interested in-
acrobatically hop across.
No, with your cart, Dwight.
Yeah.
With your sledge that you're pulling behind you,
Hi.
you can make me an athletics check to try to shoot across the gap and pull it really, really quickly.
I would like to make an acrobatics check.
Well, you can do that if you let go of the sled and just
what
run.
acrobatic maneuver do you want to do?
I actually was going to do acrobatics too. Harcourt, being the little man that he is very happy to seeing that there's horses there, is very happy to jump out and accidentally get caught in the traffic of the horses. Oh no! And try to make a little commotion and get them out of our way. Make them stampede. I don't really care.
All right, make me either a performance or an animal handling check.
All right, let's see. Probably.
Is anybody else going to try to do something at the same moment that Harcourt wants to do this? Tashash, you seemed like you were maybe going to do something.
I'm going around. I'm like steering clear of this thing.
Okay, so the party has descended into complete autonomy and chaos. I love it.
Split the party.
This is the door phenomenon. If you really want to wreck your players and give them an impossible task, put a door in front of them. And in this case, it's 2 lanes of traffic.
I got an unnatural 20.
Sweet. All right. So you managed to get the full attention of two moderate-sized draft horses.
Oh.
Okay. So you are now feigning being the victim of wild draft horses. Make me a performance check. Well, that 20, did you do a performance or an animal handling?
That, I don't know. I didn't choose because they were the same.
Okay. We'll call it a performance check. Sure. So you managed to...
I don't want to look guilty, right? I'm not trying to start a riot here.
No. Suddenly, one of the guards comes running up and he begins very, very sternly giving a moderate tongue lashing to the driver of these horses, telling him to control these horses or get out of line. So the driver of the horses manages to, he pulls out a crop and he gives them each a pretty solid crack over the ear on either side, and they put 4 on the floor and they calm down. And Mela, you're able to go cross. Harcourt, do you say or do anything at your moderate success?
Are they close enough that they could scurry after? The other two could pull their carts through the opening?
Absolutely, yes.
I just motion to them to come on, and I fall kind of against the guard and say, "Oh, thank you." Also, I just want to check his pockets real quick.
This man has a child and a pregnant wife. And go ahead.
The guard?
He doesn't know that. Harcourt doesn't know that. Harcourt, make me a perception check.
Perception, you said?
Sure.
22.
22. Okay, and make me that sleight of hand check.
All right. That is pretty good. 24.
Okay, 24. You managed to fish not only a coin purse off of this guy underneath his tunic, but you also notice a little letter satchel, some sort of little parchment parcel pocket thing, and you managed to slip a blade up there and cut that loose as well. And inside, whenever you read that, you let me know.
Okay, I'm gonna really quickly, as I motion to Thack and the others, basically to exploit the little gap where the guys are, just jump on Mello's cart and kind of nestle back in. I was on Thack's, but now I'm on Mello's.
Okay, Thack, make me a perception check.
Sure. I have not moved yet.
Okay.
That's going to be a 10.
Okay. Thank goodness. 10 was all you needed to accomplish what you accomplished with a 10. So you guys all push forward
Nope.
and manage to. What? You're not going to go yet?
Not,
You're on the other side of the lane?
Do I see Mela?
You see
going?
Mela make it safely to the other side of this opening.
I follow Mela
Okay.
slowly.
Slowly. Okay. So, Harcourt, do you continue to talk to this guard and keep his attention, or do you kind of release him back into the water as soon as you get what you want from him?
No, absolutely. I just thanked him a lot and told him I really appreciate it and slipped him a coin out of his purse.
Wow. Okay, you slip him a coin out of his own purse, and as he goes to say thank you and goodbye to you, he goes to
quickly head away.
He goes to stick that coin in that purse and realizes that it's gone, and then Harcourt, make me a perception check.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Yeah, pretty low. 3. No, 5.
Okay, yeah. Well, whatever that was, it ain't none of Harcourt's. Never mind. And you see, as this guy puts 2 and 2 together and starts feeling around for his purse, you see him look at you, Harcourt, and he gets really upset. And then you see him turn and look, and he sees Thack slowly pulling that sledge across, very methodically, very patiently, and he makes eye contact with Thack, and you see his eyes narrow, and he goes barging over towards Thack, and he whips out some manacles, and he goes to slap these manacles on you, Thack. What do you do?
He doesn't say anything to me.
He doesn't say anything. He's just barging right at you
And gets
with
out of
manacles
cuffs.
out.
Has been roundly denied.
I drop the cart like I
Drop the harness.
I get out of the way. I drop the harness and get out of the way. I back away from him.
So you jump backwards from him, and he's coming after you. You've got a chance to make a dexterity saving throw to try to evade this guy laying hands on you and grappling you.
Yeah.
Everybody,
what is
roll.
this?
Go
what
ahead.
do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing, man?
Okay, so Thack cries out, "What do you think you're doing?" Mela, make me a perception check with advantage.
3 plus 2 is 5.
Okay.
15 plus whatever my thing is.
A lot.
20 unnaturally. A supernatural 20.
Tashash, have you taken off out parallel to the line of traffic looking for your own opening?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Tashash has taken himself out
With
of the
the
game.
other lizards.
Gonna meet whatever Josh planned for us to meet.
So yeah, at this point, I think Tashash, the other lizards would follow you. If you say we're not doing this, we're doing the lizard way, and we're going off to the right, then you have led the lizards away. Harcourt, what was your initiative?
Oh, I didn't know we were rolling initiative. It is. I still rolled, but my thing is so it is a 21.
You said roll perception.
I thought it was perception.
Yeah, I told Mela to roll perception.
Got it.
Yeah, and Mela, you and Harcourt. Mela, you gave me like a 15 or something. Was that your perception?
20.
20. Okay. All right. You notice, your head whips over your shoulder, and you see Thack being accosted without any kind of due process or any kind of verbal notification of arrest or halt or desist. This guard is just going at Thack. You two, if you want, roll me initiative.
So
Thack?
Yeah, Mela and Mud, roll me initiative.
Mine was 21.
Okay.
well, 15.
Okay.
Oh, plus my initiative is 5, so another 20.
20. Okay. So, Mud,
Yeah.
you see this guard has turned away from you and is now launching himself at Thack. Do you do anything? Do you intervene? Do you watch? Do you hold your turn?
No, I mean, in all the commotion, it's been really trying on Harcourt, and I accidentally got lost in the legs of the crowd. I'm hiding among them.
Okay. Make me a stealth check.
Okie dokie.
Don't worry,
14.
Thack, I'll save you.
14. Okay. All right. Mela, what are you doing?
I would like to go over and diffuse the situation.
All right. You've got a move speed that is absolutely sufficient to get yourself planted in between the guard and Thack. You find yourself.
Wait. What is going on here, guys?
This guy was trying to put cuffs on me for no reason. I didn't do anything.
Put cuffs on people. You got
All
to
right.
tell them what you're doing that for,
This
man.
guy's such a big jerk. All humans
You
are
know
like
that.
him.
You
All
know
right,
that
so
as
Mela-
well as I know that.
Mela,
So just
make me.
back it up.
Do you want to intimidate this guy into backing up, or do you want to persuade him to back up?
Mela, you want to disembowel this guy.
I mean, they're
Wow.
the same.
What a
so I
reasonable
will-
suggestion.
He's acting
That is-
completely outside of his authority.
Mela, are you going to intimidate him or persuade him into backing up?
I will persuade him.
All right. Roll me a persuasion check.
19.
Thack is saying things like he was trying to assist with an intimidation check.
Well, that would have.
I don't think it's going to work for a persuasion check.
No, none of that's going to help for a persuasion check. You see the guy he looks you up and down, sees that you are a monk, and he says, "This doesn't concern you. Out of the way, pretty boy." And he begins to throw an elbow at you to push you out of the way.
I would like to deflect that.
He hasn't actually done that yet, though. Thack, what do you do with your turn?
Thack is going to go ahead and he's going to look at the guy and look at Mela and he's going to kind of reach back to where his guitar is. He's not going to take it out. He's just going to sort of touch it, right? He starts chanting, and he's revving up a spell for against which the guard is going to have to make a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw.
He will try and succeed soundly. You see his anger and his fury is strong enough that his will is steeled against your magics. And that guard, provoked now by your battle magic, draws his sword. Mela, you're going to get an attack of opportunity on this guy if you want, because he is drawing his sword in an awkward way that is
I would like
providing.
to strike him with my shillelagh right on his hand.
Okay. Are you going
Right on
to
the
do
hand.
Are you going to do a stunning blow, or are you just going to punch him, or are you going to disarm him, or what?
Well, so I don't know how this all works.
Sure. So
attack
one
of
of the things. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Describe to me.
Sure. Well, that's very interesting. I don't see disarming as. Oh, that's right. That's because that's a special ability. Why don't you? If you want, you can do a stunning blow, and I'll say that if you stun this guy, you can stun him before he draws his weapon.
Okay. So I'm doing a stunning strike.
Yeah.
Which for my thing it says I'm supposed to hit with a melee weapon attack.
Yep, you can do that with your fist. You can do that with your shillelagh, whatever you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit him right in the hands with the shillelagh.
All right. As
Shillelagh
you hit.
hand.
All right, roll me an attack.
1.
Nice.
Oh, no.
You go to hit him.
But I mean is it I don't add anything to that. It's
You
just
rolled a
straight-
1. You go to hit him with your shillelagh, and instead
drop it.
it misses and it goes flying out of your hand. Let's see if it hits Thack or if it hits.
Or if it gets stuck between his legs and he trips over it.
No, this would be a thing that doesn't work out to your advantage. All right, odds it
What
hits
if
Thack.
you roll the 1? Then it could happen.
Evens. So it goes flying out of your hand, and you strike a cart horse nearby, and you send the horse into utter hysterics and pandemonium. And you know what? It's the dung cart horse. The shillelagh comes flying out of your hands, and it strikes one of those 2 draft horses. And these 2 draft horses with a big thing of manure go just charging forward and start pushing everybody else out of the way. And the cart topples and goes sideways. And there is now a long stretch of dung being deposited all up the main thoroughfare up into the city.
Something a guard should take care of.
You would think that there would be some kind of responsible city employee on hand. Mud.
Yeah. I want to make my way to, let's call it the dung streak. And while I'm doing that, I want to skim the contents of the, what do you call it? The letter pouch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. How do we want to do this? Do you guys all want to hear what he reads, even though it's private? And this is in terms of IRL, how you want to handle metagame information. Do you guys want to mute your mics and I tell Sir Robert? Sir Robert, do you want me to just tell you because you're going to tell them whatever it is?
It's fun if you tell me. Well, okay. I don't know how strongly we want to divorce information.
Sure.
So Harcourt may or may not tell the full truth about things.
It's okay.
Everybody mute your mics. Everybody but Harcourt, Fenton, Mud, mute your mics.
You mean
mute your audio. Mute your audios.
Mute
and
our,
I'll wave my hand like
Wait,
this when it's time for you to turn it back on, okay?
How do I do that?
You can take your headphones off.
I'm muted.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can do that.
All right. You ready, Mud?
I'm ready.
Okay. So you pull out this note and you see very simple instructions. Apprehend the half-orc. What? You read, apprehend the half-orc bard if seen. Bring him to the council.
Amazing.
And you see a slightly cryptic, highly stylized one-letter symbol, and you see that it is a C that has a particular kind of flourish to it. You suspect that this is the moniker, the single letter moniker of an organization.
Okay.
Called the Council.
Okay, great.
Okay.
We can unmute, and then I'll tell what I would like to do as I run over.
I think Matthew is
Hello?
frozen, or he has perfected the art of stillness to the
What?
degree that he should
Why
be
can't I hear you?
busking for money on the streets of New York City.
Dwight, can you hear us?
Oh, okay. I can hear it.
There's Matt.
I'm back.
Got him back.
Okay. So
What a
Hi.
perfect time for you to freeze.
great. I was just doing a quick little dodge through the legs of people over to the dung streak or whatever.
The skid mark.
Say it again.
The skid mark.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. And Josh, if I've got the time for it and everything in my turn, what I want to do is just grab about a third of the coins out of the coin purse,
Sure.
rip the top piece of the letter off the
Sure.
note, some innocuous part that doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
chuck the coin purse, the note envelope with the note envelope into the dung part at some nearby part, and also the piece of the letter that doesn't have the important part kind of into the dung.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand check with advantage.
Ooh.
Do I see Harcourt reading a note?
Make me
hidden.
a perception check with disadvantage because you are currently in the middle of combat and he is doing this a good ways away.
I haven't combated anybody, but okay.
Well, you're being harassed.
I got a natural 20 on the sleight of hand.
He's impressing you.
Um,
I'm being impressed.
I got a natural 20 on the sleight of hand.
I got a 9 on my. Or wait, that's a 7 on my perception check.
Okay.
I don't see it.
No, yeah. All right, Mud, you do that thing you do so very well.
And just real quickly, just so I can write it down, how many coins did I grab out of the bag?
15.
Okay. Anyway, so
Gold,
my point
silver,
of that...
copper, what kind of coins?
15 gold worth, which you notice that's way more than a Joe Schmo working the street. That's way more than he should have.
Yeah, if there's that much in it, I think I'm going to toss the mostly empty bag back.
No.
Sure. Yeah. We'll say that you've got 15 left, that there were 5 more,
Okay.
and you leave those five coins.
Sounds great. And I don't mind. I'm leaving it open. The idea is I want it to appear as though maybe somehow or other they got dragged along on the ground like they had fallen off of his person and are there somewhere in the dung.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
great. Including the letter, which got torn up, all that stuff.
Sure.
And then that's my turn, I guess. What I'm going to do
Okay.
is go over and try to get him to say, look, dude, you dropped your stuff.
So you did that stuff this round, so we're moving on to Mela.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up?
It is your
like
turn. You've got a guard who you just tried to shillelagh, and instead your shillelagh came flying out of your hands, struck a draft horse, sent it flying and charging up the road, scattering dung everywhere.
Which was exactly what I wanted to do. So now I
Well,
will
lucky you.
strike the guard
With your
a
fist?
couple times right
All right.
in the nose.
All right. Give him the old 1-2.
1, 2. Maybe
Are you doing
3, 4.
lethal or non-lethal damage?
Non-lethal damage?
Wuss. He knew the risks. He knew the job.
10 and 13.
To hit?
Both are hit? Yes.
13 is a hit.
Are you adding your weapons attack?
What do I... Oh, wait. Right.
So if
plus
you rolled a 10...
18 and 21.
There you go. Those are both hits. Roll me damage. You know what? Don't even roll the damage. You beat the tar out of this guy in just 2 hits. And what does it look like? Do you punch him, kick him? What do you do?
I just trip him.
Okay. You trip him and
You should knock
take
him
all
out.
that momentum and just slam him down to the ground.
Yeah.
And
Judo.
his body hits the ground cold and motionless. Thack.
If I can do this in my turn, I address the crowd. I start working the crowd as well as I can.
Okay.
I'm saying, police brutality. Look, everybody, look. This
You
is
see
trying to
There's
oppress
been
me
some
just
brutality.
because I'm an
and
orc.
there were police involved, but I'm
You
not
see-
sure that's police brutality.
You see 2 little old
We're
ladies
just
hanging.
defending. It's self-defense. You saw it. It was self-defense.
You see 2 little old ladies hanging out of a carriage, and you see them crying out, "Oh, it's that nice young man! Oh, it means the police are being brutal to him again."
Do I get to make a performance check or anything?
They were predisposed because of our court appearance.
Fair enough.
So these 2 little old ladies are going to give you advantage to get sympathy from the crowd. Make me a performance check.
It's definitely a performance.
Do you play your guitar? Do you start
No.
talking? Okay, all right. So you're not doing the VH1 live thing where you talk over the riffs.
No. Oh boy. 5 + 8 is 13.
Okay. Everybody's kind of already tense and on edge, and everybody seems to kind of be looking for something to get upset about and get behind. And they get behind you, and you see a couple of large, burly men come over, and they're carrying sticks and cudgels, and you see them saying, "What? Police brutality?" And you see that they are coming at
She
these
saw
guards.
it.
And
These
you
two
see
ladies
one
saw
of
it.
them take an eye at this guard, and he kind of grips the haft of this weapon, and he goes to attack the guard. And we're going to pause right there at the 1 hour mark as you guys are going to try to head off a full-on riot. So we're going to be back in just 10 minutes, and we will find out whether or not this poor guard gets the ever-loving snot beaten out of him by a crowd which has been whipped into a frenzy. So, Robert, can you handle the intermission technicalities, and we'll be back in 10?
Sure. Fiat intermissions. we're back from intermission. Hi, everybody.
What's
All
up?
right. Welcome
Let's get this
back.
riot started.
All right. So you've got a group of 4 large, angry-looking men who are carrying cudgels and have begun advancing menacingly with intent to harm on this policeman who has gone down.
We're still in initiative, right?
And you are still in initiative, which would put us... I honestly don't remember who went last before we broke. So let's just go back up to the top of the initiative.
That's where
Mud.
Just
Okay.
Yeah.
Just quick question.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I meant to get you back in here. Go ahead. You say your thing.
So I imagine at this point the lizard troop is pretty well clear of.
You
right?
have gotten them. Yeah, that's up to you. Make me a perception check with advantage.
Okay.
This is a slight retcon.
Oh my gosh. Really, dice? I rolled a 3 and a 4.
Okay.
Translates to a
You had
score
that
of
advantage.
7.
Okay. Roll me one more perception check.
Okay.
That actually
regular-
works out. That works out perfectly. That means I don't have to retcon anything.
Okay, 13.
Okay. So at first, you are so concerned with getting the lizard folk clear that you don't notice the initial interactions between the guard and your allies. But as soon as this thing with the horse happens, you notice that. And so at that point, you've got the choice. You can either stay with your people or you can charge back over towards your allies.
So I think what Tashash would do is first he would make sure that, the group is clear of this.
Yeah, they're a good ways away and more
Okay.
distance being put between themselves and
And-
the problem.
I think the next thing he would do is check to see if things are kind of heating up. He would check to see if it's possible to extract the sledges that these guys were carrying from the
Okay,
potential
make
chaos.
me
Is that how hard would that be?
make me an
Question
athletics
in
check.
mind.
Make me an
I'd
athletics.
just
Yeah.
Well, first he just kind of would it be difficult to slip in and out, or
There's
is the
nobody
stuff just,
stopping you. I'll say if you want to make an athletics check, you can jump in and grab the sledges that Thack was pulling, and you can get them out of the way.
Okay,
they're like in the middle of the road.
I would grab. Yeah, so I grab. Atlas, come with me.
Okay, Atlas is going to come with you. You guys both kind of lash them together, and you both pull on them. So I'm going to say that the two of you with advantage are going to pull both of these things, right?
Okay, so roll athletics with advantage.
Yes. Well, I'll roll for her, you roll for you, and combined we'll take the better of the two.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's 11.
She rolled a 14.
Nice.
So I'm going to say that combined, you guys are absolutely able to both pull those things out of the way. So you've got them a good 20 feet clear of this immediate fracas.
We're gonna drag the sledges over to
Okay, so you guys keep
the rest of the
going.
group.
You see Atlas and Tashash are pulling these sledges out of the way, and you have opened up a space. So now, Mela, you and Thack are standing over this guard with 4 guys closing in. Mela, what do you do?
4. I thought it was 2.
We'll
But
split the
okay.
difference and call it 3.
Or what's the difference?
We'll call it 3. Suddenly, one guy who was kind of flickering in and out of existence just kind of disappears, and there's only 3 of them.
I would like to pick up my shillelagh.
Okay, you can do that. You'll have to move. I'll say that that's not in the direction that they are. You can just run over, snatch it, and run back and plant yourself if you want to do that with your turn.
And then I say, wait.
All right, this is a common monk practice to repeat yourself, we'll say. Do you want to make a persuasion check to try to calm them down?
Sure, persuasion, and I'm not any good at that.
Well, you don't have disadvantage or anything, so just roll it.
Well, there's my thing. Persuasion. Ho! 2.
Yeah, these guys look at you in the eye and say, "We'll cotton to this." And you see one of them. They are. I need to roll initiative for these guys since they're jumping in. And
Whoa, I lost
okay,
you.
Thak, you're going to get to go before them.
Before I
And Harcourt's
take
in
my
there somewhere.
action,
Oh, you were at the top of the order. Sorry, you were a few feet away. Did you want to do anything at the top of the order, Mud?
I can be next or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll say that you held your turn. All right, go for it, Thak.
Thak, with my sort of bonus action kind of time slot, if I could, I would like to get a sense of the genuineness of these guys' intention to harm the fallen guard.
I'm going to say if you really want to try to size them up like this, I'll let you use up your move action to do it. And then you'll still have your standard action.
Sure, move and bonus action or whatever. Yeah, I'll stand there and glare at them and look at them. I want to know, like, do I think that are they posturing? Are they bluffing? Are they joining in? Are they like just sort of out of their senses at the moment? Do I think they're
make me a perception check.
Man, these are Pennsylvania Teamsters.
9.
Yeah.
9.
These guys look angry and they seem like they mean business. But you don't know. I mean, like they're angry, right? Who knows? Who knows what an angry man can do?
Sure. For my action, then how close are they standing to each other?
They're shoulder to shoulder.
They're shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them are occupying 2 squares.
I throw myself bodily at both of them, arms out in a tackle to try and grapple both at once and bear them down to the ground.
Okay, there are 2 big guys and 1 smaller guy. Do you want to try to take on the 2 big guys?
The 2 big guys.
Okay, make me an attack roll to try to lay hands on these guys. Because it's so cinematically awesome, yeah. I'll let you attack both of them.
Sure. 13.
That's enough. They're not wearing armor or anything. They're just in clothes. So you reach out and you manage to kind of hook an arm over the neck and shoulder of each of them. Make me a...
I throw myself at them.
Okay.
Like both feet off the ground.
So you're trying to carry their weight?
Parallel to the ground. I launch myself at them.
Yes. So you're trying to carry their weight backwards and get them off kilter and knock them back.
I'm trying to knock them over and end up on top of both of them if I can.
They're going to get to do this as combined. So they're going to have advantage and you're just going to make a straight roll and we're going to do an opposed strength check here.
Yep.
If your strength saving throw, I'll let you use athletics. You can do an athletics check to do this.
Yeah.
They're going to make a strength saving throw.
Ouch. Oh. I rolled a 1, but my athletics is 7, but I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Oh, man.
I feel like I probably just bounced right off.
Yeah, you hook arms onto them and your feet go flying past them and you your feet and your momentum keep dragging you forwards, and so now you're kind of barely holding on. You've got an arm reaching out and grabbing each corner, and you're kind of hanging there looking up at the 2 of them, and they give you this disgusted look. Do you want to make me a persuasion check at the last second to say, "Oh, guys, this is a huge misunderstanding. My beef's not with you." Something like that.
I feel like I've probably used up my whole turn doing this.
You did. I was being
But
nice.
if you're going to let me...
No. You
talk
looked
to
a
them-
gift horse in the mouth. Don't worry about it. All right. These guys are going to take. Let's see here. I'm gonna roll for this to see how upset they are with you versus this cop on the ground, because you were the one whose aid they were coming to in the first place.
Yeah, which should make them think twice. But okay, that's up to you.
All right.
I don't know how punk rock this is.
All right. They look at you with confusion and anger, and they're like, "What the heck, man? We were coming over here to help you out. What are you doing?" And they kind of throw you on the ground, and you
Doesn't
land.
help me for you to kill this guy.
He'll get what he deserves. And they, you've got an
He'll
opportunity.
get arrested like anybody else.
You are on the ground next to them, and they go to walk away from you. You can, with disadvantage, try to grab both of them, or you can try to grab just one of them by the ankle and slow them down.
I'm sorry, Josh. The last thing I heard was you were on the ground with them.
You are on the ground. Their feet are just above your head, and they're about to walk away from you towards this guard. You can either, with disadvantage, try to grab both of them, or you can try to grab one of them by the ankle.
I'm not grabbing anybody by the ankle. I thought they were much closer to the guard. I thought they were like right over him, about to smash his head.
They're 5 feet away. They've still got another 5 feet to go.
Okay. And I'm sort of behind them. I've
You're laying on
overshot
the ground.
them.
Your body is past them. Your head is right where their feet are. They're about to walk away from you. You can either
I
try
have
to
too
grab.
much-
Go
I have
ahead.
too much dignity to grab at somebody's feet as they walk away from me.
Okay.
If you let me, I stand up instead of doing that.
It's not your turn. So no.
Okay.
So these guys go to attack the guard. Mela, you're standing right over him. You're gonna get an attack of opportunity.
Between them and him.
You're between, sure. So they're gonna try to come through you to get to him. You're gonna get an attack of opportunity. Do you attack one of the two big ones or one of the small ones, or the small guy?
I attack the leader.
Okay. Okay. Make me a quick perception check to see which one of these guys you think is going to be.
Combat perception! 8!
Pick one. One or
The
two.
Second big guy.
Okay. Attack him. Are you going to do a regular blow, or can you do a stunning strike for a? No, I think it's just a regular attack roll. So make me an attack roll on him.
Yeah, but I get 2 attacks.
This is
attack
just a
both?
single attack because it's just an
Not an
opportunity attack. You just get a single melee attack.
Bah!
What was that roll?
11.
That hits. He's got no armor on. Roll me some
Okay.
damage.
1d8 plus 5. What does an 8 look like? It's like 2 diamonds. Yeah, that's got 8 sides. I'm rolling it.
Okay.
It might have too many numbers, but we'll see. 27! No, just kidding. 4.
Wow. He atomizes
So
into a pink
9.
mist.
9 damage.
Do you do lethal or non-lethal damage?
Non-lethal damage.
Okay. You clock this guy out cold, and he whack hits the ground. You see the small guy stagger backwards, and
How
the
do you
big
like
guy
that, Shillelagh?
and the other big guy grabs his friend by the wrist and begins dragging him backwards.
The big guy? The big guy drags the big guy?
Yep, and the small guy runs away.
That
So
is what I wanted, finally.
we are out of initiative. What do you guys do?
Oh,
I pick up my sledge and go try to find the lizard folk.
Sledge is gone. We took it.
No, you didn't. You took Matt's too.
Oh.
are the guard is the guard out of danger?
Nobody else seems to have come forward to give this guard a pummeling. So the guard is just laying unconscious on the ground.
I'm gonna try and find somebody else who looks like generally competent around. Like, are there other guards anywhere nearby, or like
You see that there
somebody
was
who's the head of a caravan, maybe?
you see that there was a bureaucrat who was positioned at the station where the guard was, and you see him kind of wringing his hands and looking around clueless as to what to do. You do see a trade caravan a little ways down the row. There's a guy who's clearly a seasoned, grizzled merchant with a large grizzled guard next to him, who are just not their business.
I'm gonna
not their concern. They're just sitting there watching.
As that's all happening, I'm gonna run over and say, I don't know what you guys have been up to. This looks crazy here, but I just saw in that guard's pouch, I saw something fell out. You should get out of here, Thak. Here, I'm gonna wake this guy up, and I'm get ready to pour water on the guard's face from my water skin.
Okay.
Oh.
Just wake him up.
Okay. If you're gonna wake him up, I'm gonna put his arms behind his back and grapple him really securely.
He's got manacles that dropped on the ground right next to him.
I'll put the manacles on him.
Okay, so you slap those on him with his arms behind his back, you said?
We can just manacle him to the manure cart that's tipped over.
No, not to a cart.
That cart is somewhere in the city.
Got it.
That's far away. But if I
manacle him to the manure pile.
There you go.
During this, while Sir Robert while Harcourt attempts to awaken the guard, I'm going to clap the manacles on him, and I'm going to look to Mela, and I'm going to say, Elf, you're supposed to be in charge. Go talk to the pansy bureaucrat and have this guy taken to the station where he should be locked up for abuse of power and authoritarianism.
And I say to Mela,
fascism.
And I say to Mela, we should really get out of here. I'll tell you in a minute.
Let's go. Add him up, move him out. And I go,
this man should be under arrest.
Don't worry about it.
And when as Mela drags Thak off, I pour the water on the guard's head to kind of and slap him a little bit and say, "Thank you, hero." And then I run off into the crowd and get lost in people's legs again, back towards Mela.
As I'm pulled away,
the guard's head kind of lolls to the side, and he never really achieves consciousness through the process of being slapped and doused.
I have a question, DM. Yes. Am I within 120 feet of the bureaucrat?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a cantrip called Message.
Okay.
And it lets me point my finger towards somebody who's within range, and I can talk to them. I can say stuff to them.
You've got eyesight? You do. I'm saying you have eyesight, so you're good.
Okay, yeah. So the target and only the target hears the message and can reply if they want.
All right.
It doesn't have to follow a straight line and can travel freely around corners or through openings. This is a great spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to whisper to this guy, hey, you seem like you're in charge. That guy in the manacles, he tried to, and I tell him my whole story. I said, he tried to put manacles on me.
Is there a word limit on Message?
Nope.
It used to be 25 words. It's not. Okay. All right.
Point your finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message to the target, and only the target hears the message. If the duration is 1 round, so I'll just take as many rounds as I need to tell my whole story.
And this is a cantrip you can just keep spamming?
Yep, it's a cantrip, costs me nothing.
Great. Do it.
I tell him my whole story. I tell him, this guy tried to arrest me, or I didn't do anything wrong. I was just making my way across the road when there was a gap and tried to arrest me. And then my friend tried to help me, and then the guy fell over, or something happened that left him on the ground. I don't know what. And then these other 2 guys or 3 guys tried to pound him, but we saved him because we didn't want to start a riot. And I tell my whole side of the story, leaving out the part where Mela actually punched the guy.
As he's being pulled away.
As I'm being pulled away, I message all this with a cantrip to the nerd in the guard tower.
I love the cinema of it. That as you're telling this while Mela literally has you and is pulling you by the jacket off scene. Make me a perception check as you relay this narrative to the bureaucrat.
That's a dirty 20, 18 plus 2.
All right. You recognize some sort of shift in attitude. I can
reply to me if he wants. He hears a whisper in his head, and he can reply in a whisper, and I'll hear it if he wants to.
Okay.
But only I will hear the reply. But if he's weirded out, like he doesn't have to.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to. Okay, hang on. Okay, you see him kind of nod to you, and he somewhat reluctantly says, "I'll get the message. Okay, yeah, I'll tell him what you said." Okay.
Can't wink using your cantrip.
All right.
He could whisper a wink emoji.
As you guys travel,
Wink emoji. Go on. Sorry.
As you guys travel away from the city gate, you guys see. You guys are traveling and have been traveling for about maybe 15 minutes when you see a young boy come trotting up to Mela. He's running very, very quickly. He's bare chested. He's wearing these kind of weird baggy pants. He's barefooted. And he seems to be an extremely lean, bizarrely muscle bound, wiry little boy of the age of like maybe 11 or something. And he runs up to Mela and he just kind of makes eye contact with Mela. And he gives you a hand signal, Mela, that says all clear behind you. And then he turns and runs back off.
Thanks.
And do you call out thanks to him?
No, I make a hand signal that means thanks to him.
Okay, he bows fully whoosh, parallel to the ground with the top of his body, stands up, makes eye contact with you, turns and sprints off back in the direction from whence you guys have been traveling.
Hey, Harcourt.
What's that? Go
Hey,
ahead.
Harcourt.
What's up?
As we're going, I talk to Harcourt. If that's okay.
Yeah, at this point, you guys are you've all managed to reconnoiter and pull together. And you see there's some guy who seems to have, actually two guys seem to have showed up and joined. And then you see two more guys joined them and then another guy. So pretty soon there's like
Who are
nine.
these guys? Lizard people?
These are those hippie looking guys.
They're
And about
joining
nine of
our
them.
group?
Well, they're now they have at some point they have actively tried to start helping you pull on these harnesses.
Nope.
And if you want,
Nope.
you can try to run them off.
I'm
At our
What's that?
at our earliest convenience, I want to slip Mela the note that I pulled off the guard. Remember, I had ripped the sort of useless top part of the note.
Pause
Yeah,
on that
as soon
real
as-
quick. Go back over to Tashash. Tashash, when these guys start trying to do this, you just run them off.
yeah.
Okay, you got.
Yeah,
you
I
throw
drop.
your-
I mean, I'm gonna get, and I'll probably try
What
to
are these
get
guys
like
doing here?
Atlas or a Seda to help me, but yeah, I mean, like swords out, frills up.
Okay, all these
Jack
hippies
is
like
suspicious of these people as
Sun's
well.
out, guns out.
all these hippies like stumble backwards, throwing their hands up, like, "Okay, man, we're just trying to help." Okay, and they all go running back, and they leave you alone. Harcourt, back to you.
Yeah, I just go up to Mela, and just after everything's kind of settled down, adrenaline's worn off for everybody, and I say, "Hey, Mela, wow, man, I don't know what all that crazy stuff was about, but whenever that guard kind of went crazy for no reason, he dropped a couple of things, and this is one of the things I picked up off of him." And I hand it to Mela, and I say, "I've seen some of this before. This, probably affects you a lot."
And what does it say?
Oh, yeah, right. I let him read the note. Sorry, I forgot that.
Thak wants to be in on this conversation because he's curious about it.
Make me a perception check with advantage, since Harcourt didn't specifically walk over to you and try to get you to be part
Well,
of it.
I'm trying to talk to Harcourt because he knows he specifically wanted me to get out of there.
Sure.
So I want to know what he knows.
Sure.
That perception check is going to be a 15.
You got it. All right. So you see and hear everything that Harcourt just said to Mela.
Great. And
What's going on, man?
just to fill in a little bit of color here, Harcourt's perception of Thack is that he's amusing and very useful because he seems to create lots of distractions in crowds. So, he's
True.
Harcourt's friends with
It's
everybody.
my purpose in life.
That's right. But Harcourt's perception of Mela is that he's savvy and is somebody that's
Got you fooled.
is somebody that's got enough experience and connections around that he can be useful in a very different way, more as a possible confidant or something. But anyway, so Harcourt pulls out the notes, shows it to Mela, and says, "That guard was carrying a note that looks like pretty urgent, and it mentions our friend Thack here, and I recognize something. I think I recognize something of that symbol on the bottom. Do you?"
So what do I see?
So
the
Mela,
note- Go ahead.
Mela, you see a note that says, "Detain the half-orc bard immediately and bring him to us." And you see a highly stylized letter C.
Calligraphy.
It's calligraphy. It's got a couple of weird little slashes through it and dots and stuff. So it's not just a letter C, and you can tell this is a single character symbol for the council. The council. Think Hot Fuzz. A
This
group.
This isn't the guy that I gave my word that these people wouldn't.
No, that was the city guard, the city
City
police.
Yeah.
This is a kind of shadowy organization that runs things in the city. There are rumors of nefarious plots, but for the most part, on the surface, they do a lot of good. They manage the welfare of the orphans in the city and the street urchins, the children, and they are behind a lot of the apothecaries of the city. You know that.
It's like an offshoot of the chefs.
Say again?
Seems like an offshoot of the chefs.
I'm not familiar with the chefs.
Oh, we built them in the world building.
The organization, the halflings that like to.
Yeah.
No.
No. Oh no!
We'll talk
That's
later.
right. The rat milk mafia.
Yeah. These guys, there might be some amount of. They might
They
be
probably
like
have the letter C for that reason.
That's right.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So these guys are the local chapter of that guild here
Hey.
in this city.
Josh, how much does Harcourt know about this? About this other shadow organization than the one he's a part of?
Probably that's the kind of thing that you had a fighting shot at knowing about. So let's roll me a retconned investigation check. This is just kind of a passive investigation check that you've been making over the city as you have wandered throughout it and talked to people and chit-chatted and whatnot.
Sure.
We'll see whether or not something about the council with this letter C came up in the course of scouring the city at night for thieves' cant directions.
I don't know how to interpret passive. I have a passive
Sure.
investigation, but I don't know what that means.
Sorry. This is over the course of your
Got it,
movements
got
through
it.
the city, you have automatically done a certain amount of investigation over the city. So
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to kind of make a cumulative at this moment,
Got it.
searching your memory of the details that you've seen of the city in the form of an investigation check.
Okay.
Could be maybe a history check,
Yeah.
but investigation seems right too.
I'll let you do history or investigation. They'll have different DCs, and I won't tell you what they are.
Okay. I did investigation and got a 19.
You did which one?
Investigation.
All right. You do, in fact, remember seeing signs for the council here, and you remember spotting a couple of notes that alluded to it as you were rifling through Chet's stuff.
Maybe talking with the fence a little bit came up.
Over the course of that night,
Sure.
yeah, as you guys were
So-
drinking copious amounts of elven wine, yes.
So I tell Mela, I say, we have been having a ton of fun with the whole court and jail and the guard thing just back there. But listen, man, this thing, this is not a game. this part, these guys are not playing.
Mela, make me a history check with advantage.
History check. Let me see what my history thing is. I don't think it's very good. I'm not the brightest bulb in the shed.
That's okay. You're from here, so I'm going to let you add another +2 on top of your history check.
11 plus 0 plus 2. 13.
13. Yes, you agree with Harcourt Fenton Mudd. The council is the group of humans that have the most power in the city.
Let us
outside of
continue
official
about our way with abandon and alacrity.
Okay.
And can I
All right,
recommend?
Harcourt.
Go ahead.
This is Harcourt speaking. And can I recommend?
Well, hang on.
Mr. Mel-
Thac's trying to interject here, and you guys have both gone, so let me put the camera on
go
Thac
for
for a sec.
Harcourt, this is piece of paper number 2 with my name, or that is talking about me, saying stuff about me, and I don't know anybody in this town. I haven't been here before. Like, what's going on, man? You elf, what's going on?
Hey, man, I actually don't know what's going on exactly with you. I'm not sure why they're interested with you. I'm here for, my own personal business. Let's call it a working vacation. But this guy, this group of guys here, they're not messing around, and they don't want good things for you, I would bet, based on what I know about them. So what I would recommend is we keep you out of the city, and we go figure out what we need to go figure out with what we're working on with these lizard guys. But you'll be in trouble. Or, maybe you like trouble. It's fun as long as it's fun,
I like a certain amount of trouble, but any chance of going back to that inn and maybe getting my stuff?
Yeah, I'm
I
happy
still
to
got
go
a
get your
still
stuff.
got a
like we talked
backpack
about.
over there.
He says this to you as you guys pull up. Right there in eye shot is the southeast gate that leads into the city. Up the road, just a couple of blocks, is the commons area, and at the edge of that commons area, closest to you, going up that road, is the Whistling Pig.
Whistling Pig should be right up there, and the innkeeper owes me money.
Well, what did you leave there, and how much money does he owe you?
I got my backpack, same basic shape as a guitar, right? It's guitar case plus backpack. It's awesome.
Right.
Lots of good stuff in there. And I don't know how to estimate how much he owes me. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it's something plus 0 times 0.
What number would Thac throw out there? What number does Thac feel entitled to for performing?
Thac would think, I think maybe like 5 to 10 gold. Like barding is usually enough to support a not wealthy, but whatever the tier below wealthy is, lifestyle.
Sure.
You're supposed to be able to make some real, comfortable lifestyle. You can make some actual money at it. So he would expect like maybe 5 gold or so.
Yeah.
And it was like a big show. Lots of people came.
Sure. In Thac's perception.
In Thac's perception, Thac's also...
The whole city knows about it.
The whole city knows about it.
Sure.
I ought to get some money for that.
I say, hey, listen, I really don't think, I tell Mela kind of towards Thac and Mela, but towards Mela, I really don't think Thac should go into the city. If y'all keep going, I'm happy to go get his stuff for her and meet you up the road a little bit. But
yeah, you meet us at the Standing Bear.
The Standing Bear. Okay.
Standing Bear.
So Harcourt is going to just make a quick jaunt and go grab the guitar case and see if he can, quote unquote, persuade the innkeeper to pay him for Thac's awesome performance.
Okay. So as you are traveling up the road, you notice that there's a decent bit of traffic coming in and out of this gate as well. It seems like probably more than is usual. What's that?
Everyone's going in.
No, there's traffic going in and out.
In and out. I got it.
It's mostly in the other gate, but this gate is a different gate, right?
Right. So the Yeah, this gate, there's a lot of traffic going in and out. This one seems to be a little more out than in. So you're kind of fighting your way up the alley, dodging and weaving. Make me a dexterity saving throw to not get stepped on by a very large beast of burden that has 2 legs and is hairy and has a weird slug-like tail sticking out the back of it.
Okay.
Everybody?
No,
Just
just me.
you.
I'm
Just-
going off
just
solo
you,
to
bud.
get up the city.
Oh, I gotcha.
Well, Dex is my favorite game, so let's do it. All right, 25.
All right, you leap out of the way, tuck and roll, and you manage to make your way up the alley out of the thickest part of this congestion, and you make your way to the Whistling Pig, where you can hear from a distance the loud throng of people that are filling this building. You see that even on the patio area outside, there's like a bit of a beer garden. And you see that those tables are full, and this place is doing a roaring, booming business.
Wow.
You see everybody seems to be talking to each other animatedly. You see that there seems to be a bit of an ad hoc trading spot that's happening over on the side, where you see people selling some street food and what looks like to be supplies. Like food and skins of water that are sealed up and stuff like that.
Okay. First, I want to kind of scan the room and just see if I see if that's like guitar case is hanging somewhere or whatever. Just see if I can figure out what's that. Also, you say it's like really crowded.
Yes, it is very full.
Great. I want to hide because I'm, my size and naturally can hide. As I move through the crowd, and I just want to see how many of the patrons are willing to donate towards Thak's pay.
Are you what do you say? How do you word that?
I word that by picking their pocket.
You walk up to somebody, you see there are 4 or 5 people at a table, all kind of swapping rumors, and you overhear them talking about, quite the performance. I saw it myself.
Yeah. No, I don't say anything to them. I'm trying to pick their pockets.
Oh.
I'm just slipping
okay.
through the busiest, most jostling parts so that people don't notice their bodies being a little bit, rubbed.
Make me a sleight of hand with advantage.
Just one sleight of hand check for... That's fine with me. I'm just trying to work the crowd and get some cash.
Do the first one.
Okay. Sounds good. Whoops. I got... 18.
You pull a gold out of this guy's pocket.
Just one?
Just the one.
That is fine.
That's just kind of a random guy.
Yeah. Great. And I'm keeping an eye out. I want to look for the, what do you call it? Guitar case, too. As I'm working the room.
Sure.
I'm doing a normal kind of thing.
You make me a perception check.
Okay.
That was just the first random guy you walked past.
My perception is... Got it. Rolls are killing it. I got a 21 on perception.
Oh man, you see a particularly tipsy merchant with an obvious money purse that is like hanging down over the edge of the bench and is like hanging down. And you see that he's in the middle of like a pocket where nobody's really paying attention, and you're below eye line of everybody. So you're kind of moving through the crowd. So make me your approach.
How do I...
just do it. Go for it. Make this with advantage as well.
Okay.
What do you want him to roll? What skill?
Sleight of hand to do the pickpocket.
24.
24. Holy cow. Yeah, you pull a...
I maxed my sleight of hand.
Yeah. You pull a bag of 34 gold off of this guy.
Great.
It's almost enough to make a health potion.
And
okay,
inside, do you look through it?
The bag?
Yeah. You're hefting it, and you do your whole halfling like, 34 wait a minute.
Sure. Well, I want to stick it in my bag and look for the guitar case. I don't want to do it right next to him, right? I'm going to
Sure.
slip off.
You have a bag that it feels like has roughly 34 gold in it.
Great. And can I find the guitar case?
You are looking around, and
I'm no longer looking for gold. I'm looking for
Okay.
the guitar case only.
Okay, so far you have made a pretty decent pass through the main floor of this place.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there is an area behind the bar, and you see that there is what looks to be a stock room that is the entrance to which is open air and is off to the left side of the bar.
Okay. Any
Do you want to
people
check
that look-
behind the bar, or do you want to check the stock room? You
Are there
see
any-
that behind. Go ahead.
any people that look official?
Yes, behind the bar, you see a human female who is taking drink orders and just slinging mead and slinging ale.
Cool. I assume I'm shorter than the bar.
Much.
So while she's distracted with that, I'm just going to kind of peek around and see if I can see anything on
Okay.
the, easy glance around the corner and then pull my head back, just normal sort of.
Make me a stealth check with advantage.
Okay. Excuse me. That was a 22.
Okay. You're good. You like a cat slip in and you manage to slip behind you get like down underneath there's a little runner area up underneath the bar, and you get up under that. So even if she looked down the gangway of the floor between the bar and the wall where there's stuff back there, she wouldn't be able to see you. So you start searching around. What's that?
Do I see the guitar case?
You do. You see the case tucked up underneath in this little cubby space, and it is fairly close to her. You see that it is about 5 feet away from her knee, but it is closer to you.
Okay. Gosh. I need to get, let's see. I need to get her to go away from the bar for a minute. I guess.
Why don't you ask for it? It's mine.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I wish Hardcore had thought of that. Sure. He's so used to stealth, to sneaking.
Hey, if that's what's on your mind and you think that's what you got to do, you do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, what Hardcore would do is what Hardcore should do.
Yeah.
Matt, you filthy metagamer.
That's right.
I asked him to legitimately go and get my actual legitimate personal property.
Yeah.
But sure, steal your own car from the dealership when it's done with repairs, if that's what makes you feel alive. It's better than killing a man.
The issue is that permission is so much harder to get than just taking something.
That's true.
For Hardcore. Okay. Yeah, basically.
Like, you're going to believe that you know a half orc.
What's that?
Like, they're going to believe that you know a half orc.
Yeah.
Half orc.
So just then you see, before you do something, you see this large portly man with a beard, and he's balding and he's wiping his hands on his apron, and he's just giggling maniacally, talking to this young woman under his breath, talking about how much money they're making off of all this. And he's like, I don't care if you start to run out, just cut it with water. I don't care. Just keep the drinks flowing no matter what. And she says, I told you at the beginning of the day we were going to have a rush, and you didn't send him out to get the extra. He's like, I paid. I did. I paid him. He's coming back with the supply. He'll be. And she's like, maybe you should go check on that. He's like, I'll go check. And you see him go charging off, and he runs. Do you do anything before he leaves? You do see that he has a very loud clink to the contents of one of his pockets on his apron.
That's a great question. While they're, I'd love to, if he's distracted heavily, Hardcore, who is he to pass an opportunity to lighten someone's burdens in life?
Okay. Well, this guy does seem to be slightly burdened, so make me a sleight of hand check.
Just regular straight sleight of hand?
Yep.
Okay. Ouch. 19. That's my lowest in a while.
Yeah. This guy is he's off in La La Land focused on profits. Roll me 2d10.
Okie dokie.
Or I can do that if you don't have d10s right in front of you immediately available.
I have 2d10.
Go for it.
Doesn't matter to me.
Roll those 2d10s and add the numbers together.
I got an 8.
Okay, you grab 8 gold out of this guy's pocket and 1 platinum piece.
Ooh. Okay.
What's
I
that?
just was writing that down.
10 gold.
Yeah, basically,
So you basically got 18.
When he's running off or whatever, I just minding my own business, not especially stealthy, but not trying to be obvious. Just walk, go under the thing, grab the guitar case, and kind of start walking away with it.
Okay, she is going to make a perception check. Are you going? So you're not doing this stealthily; you're just doing it.
Not like stealthily, but I'm not like trying to be obvious. It's just like, that part of hacking that's just like social hacking where you just nobody notices you because you're minding your own business. That kind of thing.
Look like you belong, and no one
yeah.
will even question.
Yeah.
Her head whips on a swivel and says, "Oh no, that ain't yours." And she grabs the bag and reaches for what looks to be like a sap or a jack or something. It's about maybe this long, and it's got steel studs around the head.
And I just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything from it. My friend Thack asked me to come get this for him. He's the guy who did the performance here. Half-orc guy, about yay tall. And obviously I can't reach that high, but yay tall.
Do you jump up on the bar to imitate the height?
Sure, a whole little performance about it. Say the police brought him in and they took him into custody. He asked me to come get it for him. I don't know. I just was minding my own business. I didn't mean anything by it.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Because you hit a hot button.
A hot button. Hot button.
What is my persuasion? There it is.
22. 22.
Natural 19.
You notice her pupils dilate a bit, and she loosens. She doesn't loosen the grip on the bag, but the sap goes down when you mention that he was put in prison. And so you get a good read on this situation. Roll me I feel like this would be insight instead of perception. Insight's going to have more to do with reading people, I believe. Yes. So make me an insight check.
A 21 with a natural 20.
This chick is really digging on Thack, and dropping the cudgel but holding a grip on the bag means that she's showing great loyalty to Thack, and the fact that you have presented yourself not only as his ally, but someone who has information about him and is going out of his way to help him. Mm-hmm. She is compelled by that and is trusting you.
And I say, wait a minute. What's your name?
She her eyes squint and she's like...
And I snap my fingers like... Sorry, go ahead.
Gara.
What is
Gara.
it?
Gara.
Dara. I go, and it's the same second she says Dara, I say, Dara, you're the one that was...
Gara.
Sorry, Thara?
Gara. G as in gold.
Got it. And as she says Gara, and I say it at the same time as though I'm recalling, Gara, right, you're the one Thack told me about. You're the one who was here, and he was like, there's this really awesome lady who works there. Make sure you talk to her. Oh, man.
All right, hang on. Yeah, she sees through your bullshit. And sorry, she... Beep, beep, beep. Sorry, kids. That is not acceptable language to use. I apologize. She sees through your ruse. And she's like, Pac didn't mention me, but nice try. But you're his friend, right?
I am his friend. I just came to get his stuff for him. That's all. He said it was a guitar case with his backpack on it. I said, sure.
She kind of pulls it back a little bit and she says, did he mention anything like identifiable inside of it? Did he give you anything that might actually prove that you know something about what's in here?
I don't even... Let me think here. Did he say anything?
There's no guitar.
Roll me... Go ahead. Roll.
Fact did not think...
Yeah, no, there's nothing like that.
Okay, so roll me a... Let's see if you can just straight up... Do you want to try to bluff her, or do you want to try to be honest with her and say, look, he didn't think that far ahead. So which one of those two do you want to do?
I think I just want to be honest and say, like, honestly, look, that's not that kind of guy.
And she looks at you and she goes,
not the brightest tool in the shed.
Yeah, I don't think Thack would think ahead like that. All right. She lets go of it and releases it into your hands and says, She gets out a pen and a note, and she signs it, and then she closes it up, and you see her kind of wrap it up in some tape that she takes out of her pocket, and she hands it to you, and she says, "Give this to Thack directly. On your honor, your word."
Hey,
That's got to mean something even for somebody like you.
especially for somebody like me. What? Of course.
She slaps it in your hand,
So
and then
many
she
different
says,
words.
"Look, keep this under your belt because, well, Barlow will be furious if he finds out that I gave this to you, but Thack deserves a cut of this." And she drops a heavy bag into your hands. Now, you feel that it's mixed with some copper, some silver, some gold. Like, you're a halfling. You know the feel of mixed coinage in your hands. But it's a heavy bag. So later on, you'll have to figure out exactly how much is in there.
Sure.
I just want to say one thing real
Yes.
quick. Once you go Thack, you never go back.
All right. Gara says, "Tell Thack I said to keep his head uncracked, and he owes me a beer."
I'll tell him. I definitely will. Hey, and I appreciate it. You keep doing great. And I skedaddle.
All right. So make me one more stealth check.
Okay. Just a regular wise?
Sure, just regular.
Okay. And man, oh man. I'm synthetically rolling. I have a D6 because I don't have my D20s, and I'm using diceroller.co. Anyway, I'm telling you. But I'm getting great rolls here. I just got a 26 on that, a natural 19.
Wow. Unbelievable. Okay. All right. You bump into a guy, and as you elbow him, you hear it's an orc, and you see he's leaned way over the table.
Like a full
And
orc?
Full orc. And he's not wearing a collar. And he looks to be pretty old. A lot older than they get out in quote unquote the wild, where it's just orc land. He's fairly old, right? And you see him hunched over in a very cabal kind of vibe. And it catches your ear, and you cue in for a second. You hear catches of the name Thack, and you God, I don't know, the guard. So you hear them talking about Thack and the guard and whatnot, and you look around and you notice these are all wealthy, powerful, respected people in the community, and this smells like the council, like you just bumped into them, elbowed them, and they don't even notice you. As you're moving past them, one last thing, hang on. Okay. You are being cat-like. It is unreal how good you are at your craft. You're dodging, you're weaving, you're just blending into the crowd. You dip underneath a lady's outer cloak at one moment while a group of people walk through the causeway of traffic as you're going across aisles. And as you're just about to get out the door, you feel this tugging sensation on the back of your cloak, and you look up and you see a tall, lean, slightly creepy looking, but very, very well groomed guy. Think Jim Carrey's character in The Great Burt Wonderstone, the magician
show.
Yeah, with the really oily goatee. But he's very handsome, very lean, and he's wearing this really, really flamboyant oxblood leather vest with no shirt, and he's got like impeccable abs. He's not really muscly, but he's really lean, right? And he's very, very proud of his physique, right? And so he kind of tugs at your jacket, and he looks down at you and says, "You aren't leaving so soon. I know your friend. I've got a message for him."
Great. Let's all be friends. What's your message?
The guy throws his head back and laughs, and as he looks down at you, he says, "Tell Thack." Oh shoot! Sorry, I had I worked out this dialogue ahead of time, and now I'm blanking because that was like 2 hours ago. He says something to the. He says, "Tell Thack if he really wants to get the crowd's blood boiling, to come back here, meet me." Look, oh crud! I've got the guy's name, and I freaking forgot it. I need the name of a smarmy magician-looking type guy who hangs out in this tavern. Oh, Tannerus. That's it. His name is Tanner. He says, "Tell Thack to come back and look for Tannerus at the Whistling Pig."
Okay, and Harcourt goes, "I will definitely let him know." And he pushes his nose to the side really hard and goes, "And a message for you and your people. An infant in your lap may dampen your spirits. I'll see you soon." And heads out the door.
You see him mouthing the words, "My people."
Halfling Confucius say. Infant and love may dampen spirits.
All right. So you make it out with this bag in tow.
Yeah.
This as you're dragging this bag along, make me a perception check.
Okay. And also, just to let you know, on the way, the two things I care about are checking the two pouches just to see if there's anything unusual in them, and reading the note to Thack.
Okay.
Harcourt only cares about that because if she wrote down the amount of money in the bag, he needs to make some adjustments.
Okay. Sure.
So I'm making a what check?
What do you want to do first?
You said as I was leaving, I should make some kind of check?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 14.
You hear a rattling sound coming from the bottom of the bag, and the bag feels like it's kind of like fighting you midair. You know how when you're sitting in a swivel seat and you're holding the two bike handles and you've got the huge bicycle wheel spinning, and you go to try to move it and it kind of jerks you. You feel that kind of weird effect coming from the bag, but faintly.
Okay. How can I get somewhere like an alley or something that's relatively private? And in particular, I just want to look for somewhere, because Harcourt knows that that's not how bags of things should behave. And in particular, Harcourt is more at home if he can get very private, like a rooftop.
Okay. You see a
this bag is taller than Harcourt.
Yeah.
By a good margin.
Yeah. This bag is a good at 5. This bag is 5 feet tall.
It's 5 feet tall.
Okay.
So you've been dragging it, and that's part of the issue is that you're dragging it on its side, and every now and then it seems to fight you to kip up and stand up straight. So as you're traveling along, you manage to get over to an alley, and you see that there is a trellis that runs up the side of the building. So if you want, you could make an athletics check with disadvantage to drag yourself and this thing up, or you could just climb up and tie a rope to it or whatever, however you want to do.
What I really want to do is just feel somewhere a little bit safe and take a peek inside to see if there's anything that looks like it shouldn't be there.
Okay. Make me you're standing at an intersection. Roll me a survival check.
Survival check. All right. I have no idea what my survival... Okay, there. 18.
Okay. You notice that you spot a cart move out of the way and get covered up by another one, but you see a small, out of eyesight, narrow alleyway that looks to be only like 6 feet wide that you could very easily hide in there. If you want to make me a stealth check to try to dart across the street without being noticed at all, you can do that.
Sure.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Sorry, say it again.
Make me a stealth check to try to dart in and out of things using cover and whatnot.
22.
you mix yourself in with the crowd and you make it all the way through to the other side, and you get this thing by yourself in a dark, quiet place away from eye shot. There's a couple of barrels. You pull them together and you kind of make a visual barrier between yourself and the aperture of the alleyway.
Great. And I just want to take a peek inside and read the note and check the 2 purses.
Okay, so this tape, as you begin to go to peel it, you recognize that this tape is like tissue paper, and it will tear at the slightest misstep. If you want, you can make a sleight of hand check to try to peel this tape open without tearing it. It'll be hard.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Harcourt believes in himself for sleight of hand.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
24.
What's the point in giving you DCs? Like, I don't even know. Yes.
He's very weak. I just try to rely on things that don't require me to be strong.
Harcourt
Or
whips
smart
out,
or wise.
Harcourt whips out a candle and he lights it and he heats up his knife and he takes that knife, he puts it away, he takes out like a shaving razor, he heats that up and he starts gently working it, and it takes you a couple of minutes, but you manage to peel that tape back and you see a note that says, Thack, I don't know who you've PO'd, but everybody in this place is looking for you. If you show up here, do it at 1 a.m. and be sure to wear beggar's clothes.
Okay. Is that all it
Did I
says?
say PM or AM?
AM.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
That's
sure.
all it says?
That's all it says.
Okay.
Oh, and it says, and try not to get your head split.
Okay. Yeah. Harcourt doesn't care about that. He just tapes it back together since it doesn't say a dollar amount, gold coin amount. And I'm going to check the 2 bags, check the 2 purses real quickly, just for anything, just to do a quick count on them.
Sure. You find a gem in that first bag that had the 34, and that gem is a ruby. And it is worth whatever a ruby is in main D&D rules. We can look that up later.
Okay.
And in the other one, you find a bag of 20 gold, totaling up to 20.
The one from
They said there were bronze and stuff.
Gannis?
Yeah, it adds up to...
Sure.
I
great.
got it.
Okay. And then I just want to take a peek inside the thing to see if I can tell what's causing it to behave strangely, in case it's anything like a tracking device. I don't know, whatever.
Sure. So as you start fiddling with the trunk, we'll call it the case. As you start fiddling with the case, as soon as you begin to move it around, it stands itself up and strongly resists being tipped over to the side until you like put your foot on the bottom of it, grab it by the top, and heave your weight back and peel it over. Okay. So I'm going to say that over the course of the next few minutes, pretty quickly you realize that thing, that rattling noise, if you like shake it, it's coming from the very, very bottom. And you notice when you actually get down there and look, the bag isn't touching the ground. It's hovering over the ground by just like a quarter inch.
Okay.
Right. It maybe one part of it is touching, but you're like, what the? And so you kind of push it around. So you notice that this whole thing is levitating. And as you're kind of holding it and messing with it, suddenly it just, at one point you have the thought, man, I wish this thing would just kind of like raise, like how do I make this thing just like float higher? And as you think float higher, it comes a full foot off the ground. Right. And you're now kind of just effortlessly pushing it around. It's just levitating off the ground by a foot.
Harcourt will assume that this is just a really cool convenience that Thack has put into his bag. Do nothing else with it because it makes makes Harcourt have less work to do, and is just going to either try to use that to conveniently pull it back to Thack quickly, or ride it.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got this bag, and you. How do you want to proceed? Do you? So far, you can just kind of hold it in front of you and push it, or you can put a hand out behind you and pull it behind you. You can kind of use it now as like a shield. I'm going to say that if you want to try to hide in plain sight, you would actually be able to do that.
Yeah, I think
as
I would
long
just.
as you're behind this bag.
I think I would just try to quickly get back to the, it's like 3 or 4 blocks or whatever. Just quickly get back
To
there.
the
And
standing bear.
what's that?
To the standing bear.
To the standing bear, yeah, wherever that is, that Mela said to meet him, and just try to get there inconspicuously, but not like, not in the way that he would be trying to avoid danger, but more in the way that he's just normally accustomed to being not noticed as he goes through a city.
Okay. As you exit the
Using it for cover, just kind of moving around it.
As you exit, you notice a cart going by you that's being pulled by a team of 4 horses.
Great.
And that cart seems to have some sort of official it looks like crates and whatnot that are like the property of either a merchant or a nobleman, or like there's some amount of, but this cart is getting right of way, and this cart is booking at a decent little clip down the street.
Let's Back to the Future this guy.
Okay, so you kind of put your feet on top of a little shelf that's sticking out down at the bottom, because this thing on the bottom is a disc that's circular, and the bag itself seems to be a bit square. So there are places for you to kind of put your feet on either side and hold on, and you can grab onto the cart with one hand. Make me a acrobatics check to pull this off.
Harcourt will indeed do that. And I got a natural 20.
You absolutely, completely, again, I don't know why bother with DCs. I'm just waiting for you to roll a 1. That's the only
this
thing.
This one wasn't anything. It was just a 20 because it was natural 20.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't.
What's that called? Sketching, skirting, skeeving, when you hold on to the side of something. Anyway, you do that. You Back to the Future it up.
Yeah.
So there's
Harcourt guitar case
getting dragged along, and as you come, as this cart comes out the gate, it keeps traveling. Like, it doesn't even stop for the checkpoint. It just keeps riding off. Do you get off before, or it's coming at the gate at a pretty good clip? It doesn't look like it's going to even stop for a checkpoint. You can't see what's happening up front because you're behind and below the cart. If you want to try to make another acrobatics check to try to work your way out to the side and look, you can do that, or you can stay where you are and decide to get off before or after the gate.
I just want to get out as quickly as possible at the juggling boar or whatever.
Oh, you've been traveling away from the whistling pig, headed towards
Mela
the gate.
said to meet them at the, what was it?
Dancing bear?
The dancing bear. That's where I'm going.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not hear. I missed that. I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
Yeah,
okay,
no
so retcon, you grabbed a cart that was heading in the direction of the dancing bear.
Standing bear.
The standing bear. All right, I've got to add that to my Fujidome document of
places,
institutions in the
Just
city.
a little out of the way place outside the gates.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is at the, okay, in that case, there is a crossroads town just a click south of the city, where so leading out of, if this is the mesa and the city is butting off of the mesa over here, on the south side of the mesa, coming out and down is this deep gash in the earth with exposed, craggy, rocky surfaces, and it's the ravine, right? And there is a waterfall and a whitewater rapid that runs down this way. So leading out of the city to the south is slightly downhill, and off to the side is this ravine going down. Where the ravine kind of finally tapers down and comes to a narrow point and the water finally calms down and becomes a stream, right there is a small hamlet, village, whatever, very small. And it's basically just a trade outpost and a place where merchants and people who don't want to go into the city will stop over, do a lot of large warehouse business. there are a lot of large warehouse buildings in this town area. So if you want, the Standing Bear can be down there on the south side in that little town.
And just as the cart kind of barrels through that little hamlet, I'm just going to hop off.
Okay.
At the appropriate place for the Standing Bear.
And do we meet up?
You meet up. You see them all kind of. Do you guys? What do you do with all the lizard folk and all of their?
Let me real quickly. And so I put 10 gold into one of the random. What do you call it? Bags.
Crevices.
The little purses.
Sure.
I consolidate all the stuff. Put 10 gold in. That one's for Thack. Just because I'm about to meet up with them.
Nice.
And so I'm just going to go in and just for my part, and then I'll let them do their interaction on that. But I go in and I, hey guys, hey, it went well. I bring over the bag to Thack.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks, man.
yeah, no problem. Hey, this is a really cool bag. I noticed it has a couple neat tricks. Also, I talked to the innkeeper, and there's a really cool bartender girl, Gannis or something, who mentioned that she would like
Gara?
to see. What's that?
You mean Gara?
Sure, why not? She mentioned she would like to see you again. And the shopkeeper, I said, look, man, I need the 5 gold that I need the gold that you promised to give Thack. And he said he could do it. That was fine. But he had 2 gold for you. And I said, 2 gold? Are you kidding me? Look at this business. This place has been crazy. You got to have to do better than that. I want 22 gold. And he said, I can't do 22 gold. We went back. Look, long story short, here's the purse. And I give him a purse with 10 gold in it.
Oh, hey, this is great. Thanks, man. Perfect.
All right.
Wonderful.
Make me a perception check to see Harcourt, you make me a performance or a deception check, and Thack, you make me a perception check.
It's a contested
Deception
perception
its
versus deception.
Inception check.
Perception versus deception.
So
9.
if Harcourt weren't so lucky, he would have rolled a 1.
I forgot you can't roll ones.
But
I
it's
can
lucky.
I can on the second roll.
Yeah.
On the
Yes,
first
roll
roll. I can.
Sure. On the second roll, sure.
But instead, it is also 9.
Oh, okay. Thack, Harcourt's being weird, but he's weird, and you already knew he was weird. So
Weird little guy. It's cool. I got my money. I got my stuff back. So
Sorry?
I'll go ahead and add 10 gold to my money amount.
okay. And so, Robert, did you take 10 off of the stuff that you? Okay. All right. Very good.
I'm going to add those
And
while
I've
the
got-
other people are talking.
And now I've got all my I've got like my rations and my shovel and my water skin and all that stuff back.
Okay.
You want some pitons?
No pitons. I've got a disguise kit though.
Do you want some pitons?
Yeah, I'll take some pitons.
He can have my pitons.
Okay. I don't know how you got pitons,
to my
but
inventory.
okay. So, you guys are all assembled in front of the Standing Bear.
Get out of here. Hey, do you want a crowbar?
I'm adding piton.
Do you want a crowbar?
Yeah, I'll take a crowbar.
Take that crowbar. What about 10 darts? Oh, you have 10 pitons.
Oh, do I want 10 pitons?
I don't. I'm going to throw them on the ground.
Oh, they don't weigh too much. I'll take 9 more pitons.
How do I get rid of pitons? Oh, manage equipment.
Oh, that's how you got it. You
This
got
is
it.
great audio.
This is really, really compelling stuff. See, I'm not there to police it because I'm trying to mess with formatting on my document. Sorry.
In the podcast, I'll clip the other stuff and slow this audio down by 15%.
Why
Did you take that crowbar, Matt? I mean, Zach?
Yeah, I took the crowbar.
Okay. You want a hammer?
Okay,
No, I've already
we
got
zoom in on a scene where Mela is opening up his bag, and he's like, I forget that I even have this bag. And you see him thunk it on the table. He's just handing random equipment to Thak, and Thak's like, oh, okay. And Thak is putting things in his bag.
Thank you.
And that's what's happening, Harcourt, when you walk up and you interrupt it and you give Thak all of his money, and he's very grateful for it. And you guys all kind of look at each other. And Tashash looks at all of you
Did
and
you give me the note?
And
what's that?
Did you give me the note from Gara?
I do give you the
does.
note, and in the earshot of Mela and everybody, basically, I relay the creepy dude's message.
Yeah, I say, this is whenever I do a show, lots of human women and like oily shirtless guys try to get me to go home with them. It's normal. I don't pay any mind to it.
And then I also tell Mela, hey, and also if I can catch you in a few minutes, just when you have a free minute, I'm going to mention something else to you. Not important, really, but Mela hopefully can tell that it is. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
So you tell me like Tannerus's name and that he wants to meet me and all this. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I got the message.
I just tell you all my war stories about how I got in. I didn't do anything except what I was there for. Haggled up the price a little bit, and also they offered me one free drink while I was there, and so it was a really successful mission for me.
Thak is thinking, third piece of paper about Thak. Got to cut down on all these pieces of paper. It's not a good sign when they start writing your name on pieces of paper, unless it's like handbills for a show. That's cool. Posters, that's fine. But like these documents, not cool.
All right. So you guys are all standing around at the standing bear, right? Tashash, are you saying anything? Are you hanging out with the rest of the lizard folk who are kind of maybe a few hundred feet away at the outskirts of the city? Do you guys bring the convoy all the way into town? It's only, it's like a 4 city block town, so it's not that huge. But do you guys come inside the city area, the town area, or do you stay on the outskirts of the city area, town area?
Yeah, we would probably stay on the outskirts.
Okay. All right. So Tashash and the lizard folk are a few blocks away. What are you guys doing?
Harcourt's along for the ride. I'm not leading anything.
Do you guys remember why you made it all the way down to the southeastern corner of the city?
We're trying to get on the
Get off the plateau.
what are they called?
Funicular?
Funicular.
All right. So there's the funicular is lands inside of the city limits. Mela, you know that there is also the equivalent of a vertical service elevator that is kind of tucked up into the corner of the mesa wall on the eastern side of the ravine. So you guys basically were going to have to come down around the full ravine thing. So you guys need to go across a bridge and then take a trail up that runs parallel to the ravine to get to the foot of the mesa.
We would probably, I would think if there's an option that it involves not going through the city, we'd probably take that one.
Yeah, you don't have to. The bridge is on the north side of the town.
Right.
And so most traffic peels off away from the bridge and then goes south down to the town. You guys are all able to kind of collect and come up around the town and go over the bridge. And as you do, you look down and you see a kind of nauseating, mind-bending, deep plummet, like 300 feet down. And way down there, you see this small little stream of water. Well, it looks small, but really it's actually pretty decent size. Quick lightly churning white water. So as you guys travel over this bridge, you make it. It's a sound bridge. It's not going to snap under you. You guys make it over, and Mela, you know this path well. You peel off, and you start heading up, and it is getting rougher and rougher. And at some point, the biggest and heaviest of these carts is becoming a little too much for you guys to pull. What are you guys going to do to try to mitigate this and get the cart up the path? Not the cart, the sledge.
Why are they heavy? I missed.
These sleds that you guys are pulling, you guys are now beginning to pull them uphill. Before, everything that you were doing was roughly slightly downhill. And you are now trying to work your way up a slope that is beginning to get a little bit steeper and covered in bumpy, jagged rocks and stuff.
There's not a road?
You guys are on a path, and this path is kind of a mountain path. This is not a well-traveled, scraped, flat, highly trafficked road. This is a mountain path. Not a mountain, a hill area path.
That make your guitar case carry all this for us.
What are you talking about?
No, I don't think you know anything about that.
And if it gets bad enough, we'll probably just start jettisoning in essential stuff.
Okay.
No,
we're lizards. We're not super attached to our personal belongings.
At that point, the lizard folk are like, "Oh yeah, we don't care about any of this stuff. We thought you guys really wanted to bring it. What's the problem?"
Who's this? Where did we get it?
Wait, we thought these were your sleds.
That would just power through.
Okay, Zach, make me an athletics check to try to take over with this particularly heavy one and get it up the hill.
Sure.
I'll power through too.
Harker will power through sitting on one of them.
19.
All right, you guys managed to get over this hump, and Thak begins chanting. Is there any kind of song that you're chanting to yourself to get yourself psyched up?
16 for me.
No. I mean, yeah, like there's always a song going on in Thak's head.
Like a sea shanty.
But it's like, Grommash is the best. Grommash is the most warlike. Grommash is the best. Grommash is the most warlike.
Nice.
Kids songs for orcs.
A tune of Chab, like an earworm, tries to infect your brain. Like, no spirit. Yeah. I deny the spirit of Chab. All right. Yeah. So you guys managed to pull these really heavy sleds up this heavy, rocky, hilly area, and you managed to get over them. And blessedly, there's actually a small amount of scree, enough that it doesn't really affect your feet, but it makes pulling the carts a little bit easier because they're kind of skittering over these smooth pebbles. And the last stretch is actually fairly easy. You guys get to the base of the mesa, and you see a group of 6 guards who are kind of saw you coming from a distance away. You're not making particularly good speed, and they're all kind of standing there with their pikes, saying, "Halt! Who goes there? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? This is a private entrance. This is for city use only. City's on lock. Get out of here."
I hold up my steel and just keep walking.
They stumble backwards, and a couple of them kneel, and the other one doesn't kneel, and the guy like slaps him, and that guy kneels as well, and the other 2 just kind of stand there with their mouths hanging open, watch you walk past.
What did he hold up?
The Jade Frog.
Got it. And as we pass by, Harker says, "I'm with them."
Their eyes kind of narrow at you, but they don't move towards you to restrain or hinder you in any way.
I do the same thing I do with my kids. This is visual, so you have to go. I go.
You see their eye. You see their eyes squint at you.
I can't see, Sir Robert.
So you guys, this is a absolutely massive think like an industrial elevator, right? That's at a mining facility, like one of those big cargo lift things. It's big enough for you guys to all cram in there. And you manage to kind of pull the sleds in one at a time and get them all slotted next to each other. And you guys have a kind of little strip of area to stand there, all kind of shoulder to shoulder. And Mela, you give the signal to these guys, and you see them work some sort of arcane control board, and you see this thing begin to lift up off the ground and move up smoothly. So as you climb up in the air higher and higher, you see out below you, extending away, this deep ravine off to the side. You see all this enormous, beautiful, powerful waterfall churning and flowing that seems to be spewing out about halfway up the mesa. So as you're going up, you begin to come level with it, and then you're above it, and you see the sunlight kind of cutting through as the sunset is happening, and you see this beautiful rainbow prismatic spray, and you see the line of carts of trade going in and out of this small town to the south, town of Daigo.
Dwight, would you like to speak?
Say what?
Dwight's raising his hand repeatedly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the video feed. I'm looking at my notes.
You can't see it on the video feed. I've got it cropped out.
Oh, okay. Well, Dwight, if you're raising your hand, what were you trying to say?
Oh, I'm just getting sleepy.
Oh, it's 10:36. All right. So as you guys make it to the top of the lift, it comes flat, and you see Edamame standing there at the kind of edge of the offloading area, and he kind of bows his head to you, and he calls out to you, Mela, and he says, "I see you wasted no time in gathering more power along the path. All refugees, apparently. But no matter, what is the point of having a safe home if you do not share it with those who need to be safe? Come!" And Edamame kind of hustles over to Iseda, and he bows deeply to him, and he begins speaking lizard folk, and puts his arm around Iseda and starts to Shosh. You hear him say, this basically the equivalent of "our fires are your fires, our food is your food. You are welcome to be here and have your own space for as long as you need it." And he begins talking to you about what you guys will need in terms of square footage, in terms of food, in terms of water. And he basically leads you guys over to a open kind of meadow surrounded by a copse of trees. And he says, "This water is clean and fresh, and the game here is abundant. There are no hunters. You may feel free to take from the land as you need. Consider this your valley for the time being, until all of this craziness settles."
Yes,
Reading
thank you very much.
So Mela, he has kind of given you, he said that to you, but then he went off with the lizard folk. You guys are now standing here at the edge of the mesa, looking out over a 600-foot drop out and away from you. And over your backs, behind you, you see an enormous monolithic tree with the proportion of a baobab and 3 times as tall as a sequoia.
Where is it? Behind us?
Yeah. So when you were coming up the lift, as you came up the lift, this is the thing that you saw, is this enormous tree. It is the thing that is, because you see at the edge of the clearing, there's a forest, and this is of substantial trees, right? But still looking up at the edge, at the incline, right? Way up there, 100 feet out and 100 feet up, looking up at a 45-degree angle. Still sticking way out up and above, with the height of a mountain, a small mountain, you see this tree. And that is where we will leave it for tonight. Go ahead. No, please go ahead. If anybody needs a closing scene or action.
I don't need to. But if I get a chance, when I see that this Edamame is like a wise old master monk,
Mm-hmm.
When he's done with his business and there's a quiet moment, I present him with a short poem that I composed upon about the waterfall that we passed as we went up.
Nice.
About how it's all of it's. I say it's a little more elegant in the Orcish, but I thought it might be appropriate.
He says to you in Orcish, "Well, then tell me in your native tongue."
I recited, and it's got some elegant Orcish wordplay about, how the strength of the waterfall is like the strength of Gramash, and the peacefulness of the pool beneath is like the laziness of Chab.
Edamame turns to Mela and looks him in the eye and kind of squints his eyes at him and says, "You have much to learn from the heart of this warrior poet." And he taps back on the chest. He says, "I hope you will be a good pupil of his." And he turns to Thak and says, "Come with me, where I have much poetry to share with you."
Poetry slam!
And sake.
Manly!
And sake.
Sake!
All right. So you guys all head up the path towards Edamame's personal domicile, and we will open up next week with Edamame hosting Mela and company in their quest to accomplish whatever it is that these yahoos are trying to accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We are the Starfall Collective. This has been episode 5, and you're probably seeing us on YouTube at some point in the future. Michael Moeller, we love you, buddy. You're the number 1 fan. Anybody who wants to become number 1 fan, you got to fight Michael for it. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure playing with you. We'll see you next week, Monday at 8 p.m.
Toodles.
Adios.
Night-night.